In today's world, there is so much data, and collecting data today with all the tools we have available is not a challenge. The challenge we face today is being overwhelmed with data, having too much that can make us short sighted. The challenge is to make sense out of this data, to find which data to use to improve our learning and make better decisions. The risk of too much data is losing focus, and that's a common mistake that entrepreneurs make. They measure a lot and focus on everything at the same time. When focusing on a lot of metrics, you cannot make effective use of the data. When trying to improve everything at the same time, you end up improving nothing. So, how do you decide what is important to measure? First, it's very important to make a strategic decision to understand well what your business goal is at this moment. What do you want to focus on at the stage that you're in? Once you have that decision, once you define the business goal, everything else will follow. You can then select relevant metrics that you want to optimize, and it should be easier to identify initiatives that can improve this metric. You might already be familiar with the theory of one metric that matters, OMTM. It states that, at any given time, there's one metric you should care about above all else. While the key idea behind the story is valid, and that is, focus is critical, following blindly with this definition and oversimplifying it can be very risky, because one metric can only give one perspective of your business goal. And even more, it is often too broad and not actionable. So I would definitely encourage you to select one goal at a given moment and to focus on that goal. But to be able to make improvements towards that goal, you would need multiple things to measure. In their book Lean Analytics, Alistair Kroll and Benjamin Yusovitz propose a framework to give guidance on what the key focus should be of a company in different stages. They're proposing that every successful startup company goes through 5 stages, and in this order: empathy, stickiness, virality, revenue, and scale. When you start with a new product or a new company, you should focus on the first stage, that's empathy. The focus here is to learn your users, to understand their needs. Once you have found a real, poorly solved problem that the market faces, only then can you move to the next stage. That's stickiness. Stickiness is the phase when you're building the product. And even after the product is launched, you would probably still be in this stage. You'd need to improve the product until it gets sticky to the user. In this stage, the focus is to figure out how to make the product better, how to make a product that resonates with the end user, a product that is more engaging, and that the users will be willing to adopt and to pay for. Only once your data proves that your product is valued by the user, only then can you move to the next stages. The next one is virality. When you encourage users to fuel growth, and then you go to the revenue stage, when you need to figure out a scalable and sustainable business model and set the right margins. And once you pass that stage, you're ready to scale. It is important that the metrics that you're choosing should actually match the stage you're in. So when you're building the MVP, or after you have launched the product, your focus metrics should be on user engagement rather than user growth. This is the stage where you need to increase the value of the product, and the metrics should capture that goal. And this unfortunately very often goes wrong in practice. Many startups don't respect this order. They tend to focus directly on virality and increasing user acquisition as much as possible. They would focus on increasing the number of people who are accessing their page or who are registered before they actually understand what those users are going to do with the product. By increasing the user acquisition before you make the product sticky, you would get some short-term success, but this is not the recipe to succeed in the long run. In the long run, you want to have a good quality product, a product that resonates with the market and that users love to work with. And once you reach that stage, the growth will follow much easier and it will be more sustainable.